And yeah, this is gonna be honestly, I'm looking at these crews. Two things immediately stand out to me. One of those things is that the AZ team has 2 Pikachus. That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. The second thing that stands up to me is I actually don't really know who's gonna win this. This is I actually think, given these 2 crews, I think anything could happen. Because I think, with the Norcal squad, first of all, Norcal, really obviously deep region, as we know. There are many players that you could expect to see on the Norcal crew. But there's no PPU, no Shroomed, right? But there are, it looks like it's going to be today, SFAT, Azel, Daryl, which I think is really cool, Umarth, and Kalamazoo. So, yeah, certainly a stacked roster. What do you think about the Arizona crew? Arizona/Mountain, I should say.
Yeah, right. We were talking about that. So, also a pretty deep lineup. So, Axe, no introduction needed. Meds, who, has just had such a dominant run, especially like up until he kind of took a break with the online era. But like Meds is just like a crazy good player and has just consistently taken top names like his entire career, pretty much. Ty, who I think similar to Meds, has also kind of taken a little bit of a break. OKP, who's kind of like the opposite, kind of rose into stardom very recently with Pikachu as Pikachu number 2. And then we have John Wick, who, or I guess, okay, so John Wick and CPU0, who I know not as much about, but I hear they're both pretty good. Toph, I think you had something to say about both of them a little bit.
I mean, I've commentated one set of John Wick's, but he won. It was against Silent Spectre at the most recent Genesis, which I think is Genesis 7, but I'm not very good with tournament numbers. But yeah, he looked really solid. Had a really solid set versus Silent Spectre, which he won, which I always think is impressive. I think being a Mortar player and going up against Jeff, if you've never played Jeff before, and if you're able to win that, to me, I don't care what year it is, that's impressive. Really solid player. And OKP, Pikachu player. I talked to him recently, played some games with him on stream. Very technical player, very scary player by the ledge, which I think you have to be with Pikachu. Knows the ins and outs of the character. Has racked up some really impressive wins in recent times. Some wins over players like SJ Nunn, Ben. CPU I'd say is probably the player I know the least about. I always wonder when I see the name CPU, is it the same CPU that won? Got second at Evo?
Won, beating Ken with the brawl. Brawl, items.
Ken got second?
What's that?
Ken got second?
Ken got second, yep.
Okay. Well, looks like the players are getting into it. And, here we go.
So, I think... Okay, hold on. I need to just double check. We got Kalamazoo.
Yeah. Kalamazoo, by the way...
Meds, right?
Yeah, and Kalamazoo is running the duck tag because if I had to guess, I think Keizu is in Michigan for probably 4th of July, if I had to guess. So he's playing on duck setup. So the duck Peach is actually the Norcal Kalamazoo. And yeah, already first off, I mean, I think this is about as good as it gets for Kalamazoo to start because I think his best match was Fox for sure.
Oh, by far,
Like a monster truck. Yeah. All right, Meds though, looking pretty solid. One stock apiece.
I know very little about Meds versus Peach, but I imagine probably pretty comfortable. There are at least a couple Peaches. Silly Kyle actually being one of them who we didn't get to mention yet. But let's see how this goes. I do agree though. Keizu definitely his favorite matchup is Fox. Although Peach versus Pikachu probably could have been good too, but I don't know how he is in that matchup.
Sure. Yeah. But this is a good opportunity, I think, for Kalamazoo to. All right. Love how Mez is just kind of taking the platforms and quick little spurt of damage right there. That was nice.
Oh my god, that was almost scary for Meds because he did like a weak nair. Could have gotten down smash. I think Kyle or Keizu had the crouch, but then got up smashed anyways. So kind of weird there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's looking for some cheeky stuff. What was that forward smash from? Might have been attempting a roll or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, will that reach? Yes, will.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be the stock, but
yeah.
Keizu really good at he'll definitely do that edge guard on reaction, which is nice. He floats there and actually waits to see which angle you pick, so he can just kind of cover everything. I think a lot of people decide preemptively. Oh, scary.
Don't even need to hit him. I think that was actually another chance for Meds. He was definitely dead there, right?
Yeah. If he just, I guess he just didn't want to assume that, like, maybe there's a tricky angle Meds can take where he grabs the ledge or something. I don't know.
A notched angle.
Yeah, so to speak. All right. Oh,
okay.
God,
Yep,
that
that's that reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, Kalamazoo playing really nice right now. I love just checking him with these little jabs and stuff. Like, anytime, look at that. Again, Meds might run out of the corner. He just throws a jab in the way.
And then you can mix it up with, like, jab if Meds shields, then you can just go for the grab after, which he did immediately there.
Yeah.
Again, right there, yeah. So many good jab mix-ups.
Yeah, really strong. And, you know, you never, like, obviously, if you know they're going to jab, you can crouch that and maybe get a punish, but it is always scary to go for crouches there. Like, he's going to run up crouch against Peach, you know?
So scary. And so what we have right now, so again, this is just match 1, and oh my god, the tech chase. And,
good reactions.
Keizu definitely wants to take the stock. Going into the next match with 2 stocks is very, very different from just 1, right? And especially a character like Peach that's a tank. I think Keizu can, yeah, Keizu's got this. Wow.
Yeah, wow. Keeps it simple. That was crazy. Strong. Yeah, Keizu, I mean, it's like really impressive to me because when I try to play Peach or whatever, when I get a knockdown on the platform, I feel like I always have to read. And when I watch Keizu do it, it looks like he's just somehow reacting to everything. Or certainly when I play him, it feels like he's just reacting to everything. So, I mean, but he's a monster. He's a monster with the punish game on the platforms for sure.
I mean, that's a testament to just his positioning, right? Because it's like, if you are always there in the position to easily and consistently react, that's just like consistently good positioning over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really difficult thing to do, and just props to Keizu for doing that with like a pretty slow character, right?
Yeah.
And he makes that work, especially against Fox, but in a lot of matchups as well. So,
yeah,
awesome stuff.
Yeah, totally.
What's the counter pick, do you think, for AZ Mountain?
Yeah, so, okay, it's Keizu. I mean, I wouldn't want to send in a Pikachu. That is a really rough matchup. Pikachu is actually... Sorry, Pikachu. Peach is a matchup that OKP actually goes Fox for. OKP is actually a... Right, so he's actually good with many different characters. He's not just a Pikachu main. Like, I know a couple years ago, actually, he beat Army with Peach. Because he doesn't like Pikachu Ice-Teas. I wouldn't like Pikachu Ice-Teas either. So he actually did, you know, he actually went Peach for him. He actually beat him. So yeah, I don't think OKP likes the Peach matchup at all. I think he would go Fox for that. So I think that's out. Axe probably wouldn't go in here, which leaves, honestly, just John Wick Marth or CP Puff. And I think CP Puff is solid. I think Puff Peach is the matchup you want to, you know, ideally, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to play, but yeah, I mean, I think Keizu's got plenty of experience in the matchup, so we'll see how this goes. I mean, I remember one of my favorite sets from Quarantine was Kalamazoo versus Hungrybox that went to just Game 5 last stock. Super close set, so yeah, I don't even think.
It's there.
Oof.
We called it. You called it. So
yeah.
I think, yeah, on the screen, Kalamazoo versus CPU0 up next. And in this format, I'm not sure, but I assume there's going to be a ban, right? So I imagine KZ will get the ban, Dreamland, and then, you know, they'll probably go... Actually, where would they go? For Puff? FD? Fountain? I'm actually not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know. You could go and just, you know, play the long game. But I guess that works for Peach. Oh, wow. FD, huh?
FD, yeah. I mean, assuming there's a ban, right, there would be no Dreamland. So it looks like that's probably the case.
Right, sure. Yeah, I never remember if
if
some crew battles run with a ban, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it makes a big difference, right? Like, because crew battles are really kind of like a counter pick war. Like, I feel like the crew that has people who can, like, really make the most out of their counter picks and make the least out of, like, or kind of reduce the impact of your opponent's counter picks, like, that's the crew that'll win, right?
That's right.
And so, like, having that ban, like, really kind of evens it out. so to speak. But yeah, I mean, if this is the actual next stage, or if this is the actual counter pick, I think it probably makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Puff Peach, a lot of iconic Puff Peach sets, like you were saying in the rollback era.
Yeah.
Recently, especially.
Just the matchup that did not have good sets, by the way, historically, right? I think, there was basically Armada H-Box, and Armada said, F this, I'm never playing this matchup again. And that was in 2010, and then we didn't get to see good Puff Peach sets for basically forever. And very recently, I think the Peaches kind of stepped their games up. So let's see how this one goes. I know that there's a technique called the hyper float, which is apparently very important in this matchup. And I think there's a video on Turn Down for Walt's channel where he interviews Laud and talks about it. Unfortunately, I don't know what that technique is. So
Nor do I, but it sounds really cool.
Sounds really cool, yeah. But I mean, you know what, Ryobi, I'm sure you have a lot to say about that, and I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be the bigger man here. I apologize. Not gonna John about it. I think in the past I would have made excuses. Ryobi, you probably don't know about as much as Fox techniques as I do, but I'm just gonna apologize. I'm just gonna say, you know what? I had a certain level of responsibility that I should have brought to the table in learning what the hyperfloat was, and I didn't, so I failed. I'm sure Kalamazoo's probably doing some of them right now. Bro, that might have been a hyperfloat right there.
Maybe Amy1 says hyperfloat is using double jump cancel to float lower than normal.
Lower than normal?
That's
Back
really
in my
low.
day, we just called that the low. Yeah, I mean, how's that different than like just the low float?
Nah, it's hyper low float. Oh, there we go. Big nair from Kalamazoo taking stock blood from CPU
subset of a subfloat.
Subset, yes, exactly. Oh my god.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Dude, Puff's downer is such a unique. Whoa! I didn't even get. Yeah, there you go. Case in point. Puff's downer is a super unique move. How did he confirm that? Did he just let it rip like a legend?
I guess
because it didn't hit him until really late in the downer.
It's also crazy because Rest's hitbox is not big, right?
Not big. No. Absolutely not.
It's not a Fox's Shine where it's like, you get the drill. And even Fox's drill into Shine just like misses sometimes with like good DI. So it's like, if Keizu had like the smash DI, I feel like, I don't know, could you actually confirm that? Like, I'm not sure.
Sure. Yeah. I almost wonder if it was just he just kind of let it rip. I don't know. Or he kind of knew it was going to shield poke. And so it was a little bit more of like a anticipation. But yeah, CPU, ever since that moment, Keizu hasn't been able to find his footing at all. Look at all this.
And, we're kind of in that situation last time where, both floaties at pretty high percent, and the next stock, I think, just matters so much, right? Like, so yeah, turnip game from Keizu, looking for a hit. Gets the roll read. Okay, no kill. CPU Zoo probably going to make it back, getting at least 1 or 2 more opportunities. Okay.
Yeah. And I think part of the... There it is. Yeah, part of the idea with those drills is also if they shield poke like that, you mentioned how the rest is a really small hitbox, but up smash is a huge hitbox, especially behind him. So, yeah, CPU playing that really well. Wow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever even seen CPU's Puff, but really impressed with what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, great neutral all around, and then just the great, I guess, drill into rest. I almost said Shine. Rest and up smash confirms, and that's just so critical at high percent, except especially against floaties. Getting the kills at like average of like 100, 110%, which is like pretty low in that matchup, honestly, right?
Yeah.
So
reminds me actually of something that Pipsqueak was saying on Twitter, which was that like people talk about what's more important, like punish game or neutral game, and he was saying, punish game kind of, when you learn about punish game, it kind of motivates how you want to play neutral, because you learn what you want to hit with that'll give you your big value, and so you'll look for those hits. And that kind of reminded me of what we just saw with CPU, where CPU was obviously looking for a lot of downer approaches when Keizu was shielding, downering behind him so that he could link it into an up smash. Like, that's good neutral because he's got a very specific punish that he's trying to hit. And he knows that's going to take the stock. Whereas if he pokes at him with a nair or a forward air or even a back air on Peach at 130, she's probably not going to actually die.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, very, very critical stuff. And in that matchup in particular, I think for a very long time, it wasn't super obvious either. I think Hungrybox was definitely the first to really show the consistency with not just drill up smash, but sometimes getting drill into up smash and stuff like that. But it seems like CPU Zero really revolved the game plan around, or like his neutral around that one aspect, and actually got 2 out of 2 stocks with it, which is
2 out of 2. Yeah,
incredibly impressive, right?
Yeah, really good stuff. And I would say really important too. Like if you're looking at just the crew battle as a whole, I think if you let Kalamazoo make a run for it there and start just like, oh, Keizu versus Umarth, that can't be.
Oh, shit.
That can't be. Umarth is another Norcal member. Oh, it must be CPU versus Umarth.
Civil
That's
war.
That's a good counter pick, I think, right? Because you could send in Azel, except for the fact that Azel is actually going Sheik this tournament, or this crew battle, I should say, which is really maybe unexpected for a lot of people, but I know he's been playing a ton of Sheik in these net play tournaments recently overall. And assuming you want to conserve somebody like SFAT for later in the crew battle, maybe even for Axe, I think Marths have gotten way more comfortable with the Puff matchup recently, so I think setting an Umar here is actually a really good choice.
Yeah, Marth versus Puff, I mean, Zane has basically just unleashed the blueprint. And, you know, we were talking about the punish game on Puff, and just one thing that wasn't really solved for a while is Marth's punish game on Puff. Like, you know, the kill confirms one thing with, like, the grab into pivot, forward smash, or, you know, whatever. Like, the throw combo game from Marth on Puff is just insane, right? We got the chain grabs, you got, like, you know, you get one bad DI into nair, into forward air, up air, which basically combos, like, every single time. It's all there, and I'm curious to see if Umarth has that as well. Yeah, in 2021, I think a lot of people think that Marth wins the matchup, which, you know, wasn't a common take for a long time.
No, back in the day, people actually thought that Puff just won outright. And I think the theory was, you know, obviously Marth can poke at Puff, but I don't think Marths were very good at actually getting kills. And I think that Puffs, obviously in particular Hungrybox, they just get the Marth off stage, and like the edge guarding just felt really brutal. So, yeah, and these days I think that's just kind of not the case anymore. I think, you know, Marths overall have, in particular with pivot tippers, but yeah, just better control their character. I think it's just easier for Marth to actually hang in there stock to stock. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, it's only a 1 stock lead for Norcal right now.
And yeah, I think another thing with that lead, or just like the stock counts between the crews, is that you know, probably Umarth, or you know, probably doesn't want to go up against a Pikachu either.
Yeah,
I'm just familiar with the Pikachu players on AZ MTN. So, oh my god.
Yeah, that would be probably pretty bad. That's a tough matchup, I think. OKP even thinks, you know, basically like at human level. Oh, that's gonna be the stock. Wow, you're getting frisky.
I respect that so much, actually, because I think CPU knew that Umar was going for the dash grab, and like maybe that's like some Puff tech where it's like, oh, you crouch and then you rest when the dash grab comes out. Like, I don't know. That seems like that could be a legitimate setup. So
that could be a thing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's really interesting. You do got to know though. But he was right. He just kind of mistimed it. Oh wow. I wonder if he could have down smashed that or something. Umar playing the neutral really well, though. Look at all these just stray hits he's getting on CPU. Like, just feels like this is... I mean, I remember... this was kind of the way people talked about Marth Puff, like, before the age of H+. Like, the really old school days when people thought Marth was insanely good was like, how is Puff going to get in? He's got no range. And Marth's got a sword. And Umar is just building up so much damage by just keeping it at bay. Wow. Tipper forward air? From the ground, and it actually KOs at 144. That's insane.
Right, and all that damage again from straight hits, not getting any big combos. Okay, so throw into double fair, not bad. For sure. Pound, up air.
Big on Puff, you know? A little 2-hit, 3-hit combo. On a lot of characters, it's not that big a deal, but on Puff, getting him to 40, that's pretty significant. Nice crouch cancel.
Yeah, stealing the ledge against Marth. Marth in general just not the strongest at the ledge. Definitely have to take a mix-up to get back on. Not a great ledge dash, so... Oh! Okay. I was thinking up tilt into rest there potentially, but okay. Oh, pound. And oh, what's he gonna get? Nope. Good DI from CPU.
Wow, yeah, couldn't even quite shark that landing forward air. Tough spot to be in. Looking for that drill again. I don't think drill up smash will kill at this percent on a Marth, though. Not quite floaty enough. Now it might start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, then definitely now.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, very nice.
Nice call. Yeah.
So 0% Marth. This is kind of tough for Puff. Okay, well it doesn't matter.
Oh. Yeah. That was really good recognition that he realized that would combo like that. That was just a really simple like forward throw, wave dash forward, forward smash, I guess, at the top of the sword.
Yep.
Didn't have to do anything fancy with the pivots or anything like that. I know there's some really specific, really finicky DI follow-ups you can get off the Marth throws that I don't know how many people have the entire thing labbed out.
I have the entire thing labbed out.
You have the entire... Have you ever done the down smash one?
All the time. Yeah,
have you ever done the up smash one?
I have as well. Yes, I know about both at the higher percents. Yeah, it's easier than you would think, and it's a pretty fun like mix-up game. And I think Umar and CPU played a little bit of that, right? But yeah, the high percent, it's like the only thing that kind of beats every option is down and away. So it's like at high percent as Marth, you do you do have to expect the down and away, so you have to do like dash, wave dash forward, down smash. But usually I think like you can give them some time and you have an idea of whether they do that DI or not. Doesn't really matter. We probably won't see that again, but yeah, I like the whole chart, and I know you explained it before on commentary as well.
Yeah, there was some matchup, I think it was Toussaint versus Kadoran that I commentated, where Toussaint was doing a DI that Kadoran was having a lot of trouble covering. And I think it was the DI that requires you to down smash. So, yeah, I know this is a thing that is newer, I think, because for the longest time, right, you would watch these high-level Marth Puff sets, but it was always Hungry Box. And everyone knows Hungry Box only DIs the one way, so no, it's just the world we live in. That no one has explained to Hungry Box that he can DI besides that one way that he DIs, so... but now, you know, we get to see other Puff players who DI other ways, and it's cool that we actually get to see more of that flowchart these days.
Yeah, the Hungry Box DI is a little perplexing because it sometimes feels like he finds a way to DI the wrong way, like no matter the throw, and it feels like, I mean, especially Zane. Maybe Zane has just got that rock paper scissors down so many layers deep that he has like a 75% rate, but it just, you know, regardless of the forward throw or down throw, it feels like Zane just hits every time somehow.
Hits every time, yeah.
Somehow. Not to rag on HBox, I think he's definitely not to that aspect, especially recently, which I'm very excited to see if they play again, how that'll turn out. But
Lord knows he was up throwing us onto side platforms and up airing us, and we would miss that tech. I mean, for years, right? So who are we? Right, who are we to question, you know, to come at HBox in the realm of defensive techniques, right? I think for a long time he was just so out of the game, exploiting kind of the bad teching and the bad DIing habits of a lot of players.
Yeah,
totally. But it is a very interesting kind of aspect of the matchup that, you know, people talk about like, oh, you know, with Melee, like what is there left? We've gotten so good, but I mean, I think there are legitimately like a lot of DI flow charts and a lot of things that we actually just haven't seen yet in tournament play at all. And we've known about these sorts of things that it could come into play for a long time, but just haven't had the opportunity to see it yet. And so I think that's really cool that there's always more. There's always more in the Melee bucket of meta.
And it always comes back to a Cardano thread, like you were saying, from like 2010 or whatever.
2010, yeah.
To close out that thought, though, or actually just to move on from that thought, we have Umar versus Axe, which is
awesome.
Makes a lot of sense. And I'm actually curious because, like, obviously, maybe obvious or not. Oh my God, hold on, my vacuum is running. I will turn that off. But I just wanted to talk about the thought of picking Axe versus, you know, OKP, who are both Pikachu players. Maybe one person has more familiarity with the matchup. Curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, totally. Is it like a Roomba? Must be like a Roomba. That must be what he means. Yeah, so SFAT is definitely NorCal. Was that just like a Roomba?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Should I get one of those?
They're great. Lots of sales on them. They've gotten cheaper over the years. Highly recommended.
Don't you
Everyone
have to
in
like
chat
dodge
also-
them? Don't you have to like avoid them?
I mean, you as a human, yeah, but you can program them to avoid certain areas if you have certain things that you don't want it to collide into. They're also pretty smart. They know if like things are in front of them, whatever, they'll maneuver around them. They're good.
I don't have to dodge it.
I mean, you as a human,
Yeah, if I'm like walking.
they're not that fast. I believe in you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do play melee, so maybe it's fine. Yeah, so Umar versus Axe. I think probably the logic here, I think OKP would make total sense too. I know OKP loves this matchup. When I asked him about the matchup, he basically said something to the effect of like, yeah, I do think like, I mean, it's the classic like so-and-so wins at the theoretical level, which in this case would be Marth, but like he's never felt like a Marth player. Yeah, he's always felt like the Pikachu should kind of win in the matchup with just how many like chances the Pikachu is going to get to kill the Marth versus like how hard the Marth has to work, like how many chances the Pikachu is going to get to survive if you have good recovery. He feels like he should kind of always win.
Wow.
And he mentioned this like obviously it's like, obviously I haven't played Zane, but he does feel very comfortable in the matchup, so which I get. I mean, I do think it's a tough matchup for sure. If you're not really seasoned in it as the Marth, there's definitely a lot of stuff you have to know. Wow. Looks like Umar is actually doing some... He did some pivot down tilts in his little warm-up routine there. That was kind of cute.
Oh, did he? Okay, well...
He did at least one.
I love seeing those, and I am curious if OKP would have a different opinion, because I actually know... I mean, I just watch a lot of Zane streams, and Zane was saying that he actually did play OKP, and he was... Zane basically said he was just kind of beating him up, but granted, OKP seemed like he had less experience in the matchup, and he was just comparing to like how he does versus Tyler Swift, which Tyler knows Zane's style a little bit more. But yeah, I'm curious if OKP feels that way even after playing Zane,
Yeah, totally. I mean, it is really cool that there's like multiple good Pikachus now. In a similar manner how there's multiple good Yoshis. For a long time, obviously, those were characters where there was only one.
Yeah.
Now there's like, we got to see Beezim earlier today, right? Okay, here we go. Axu Marth. Oof. Okay. Looking to punish the landing there. It is kind of tricky to punish the Marth landing directly. He's just kind of chipping away at him. Getting little bits of damage here and there. Nice up tilt from Marth.
And it's not easy as Pikachu. Oh my god, that confirmed into up smash, holy. But a quick 100+% off of Pikachu's tiny low damage aerials and moves. Like, you don't know how many moves you have to get 100% on Marth. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of cushioned by the fact that it goes both ways. Like, that's also how the Marth kind of has to rack up damage against Pikachu, it feels like. Where you're never going to get a colossal combo against Pikachu. You're also just kind of going to be getting little hits here and there.
Right. Marth definitely doesn't combo Pikachu the way that, like Marth combos Jigglypuff or whatever. So, also the kill for Marth can be a little cumbersome as well. Like, you don't really have a throw setup or anything crazy like that against Pikachu. So, Umar's, another fair, what you just kind of have to go for a strong hit. Side B. Oh. Okay. No kill there. Wow. I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's it.
Wow. That was I mean, it's about what you expect, it is tough, but Umar definitely would have liked, I think, to put a stock on the board there. So there's let's see, I think 2-3 more players for actually I think that the Cruiser actually tied up now, right? Because that's been 3. Wait, let me just make sure I don't have the numbers in my head.
So
yeah, Keizu, Umar. Right, so there's 3 more players on each side, so I think it's 12 stocks apiece now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Axe, OKP, and John Wick on AZ Mountain, and SFAT, Daryl, and Azel's Sheik are the remaining players for Norcal.
as Norcal,
Yeah.
this is kind of interesting, right? Because, you know, I feel like obviously SFAT's the strongest player. SFAT has a lot of experience against Pikachu.
Yeah.
Could go very well, but also could go fairly poorly. Like, they could just trade stocks, and that would not be, like, a great counter pick. But otherwise, you know, I have no idea. Azo, I feel like probably doesn't have that much Pikachu experience, you know, given that Ashik is kind of relatively new. And then we have Daryl, which is Samus, which I feel like could be like a really good pick because, you know, Samus Pikachu not bad for Samus, I think. I don't know.
I used to be like back in the day. I used to be a Samus down player. I think people like were really bad against Samus, and I was one of the people who was like going around being like, guys, Samus has a lot more weaknesses than you guys think. This character is destroying you because you don't know the matchup, but like seriously, like they are a mid-tier, they're, you know, blah blah blah. And these days I think the pendulum swung around, and I actually find myself on the other side. I actually feel like people have really fallen off in their opinion of Samus because there just aren't really that many Samus representing at the top level anymore. And now I kind of find myself being like, you know, I actually do think this character is better than people think because people are so low on the character right now. And I think it's prime time for people to get surprised by this character now. Like, I could totally see, especially on a crew battle situation, I could totally see Daryl doing some damage here once he ends up going up. But it is going to be the stars of both shows. This is kind of the premier matchup, the captains of both teams, SFAT versus Axe. So it does look like they were saving the Veggie Monster for Axe, which I think makes sense. Especially with the counter pick here, it's a little bit of a boon. I assume that Axe can ban Stadium, in which case SFAT can go to. Oh my God, they're counted. Whoa!
So it might not be. They might just be here just to warm up. It's possible.
Yeah, who knows?
But I mean, Axe, you were just talking to Axe about how much Axe loves Fountain of Dreams, right? Like, I don't know.
He does, yeah. Does love Fountain of Dreams. He is he's a monster here. Wow.
What stage would it be, right? Because it's like, I guess Stadium? If that's not the ban. But if that is a ban, Yoshi's?
Yoshi's? Dreamland? For survivability? I don't know. Maybe Dreamland's kind of neutral. Okay. Well, let's see what happens.
If it's Fountain, oh my God, that's some SFAT counter pick.
SFAT is a noted weird counter picker. Yeah, that is kind of his thing. Well, let's see what happens. It might have just been for the warm up because it looks like they might have quit out of that. So I wouldn't want to play Axe there.
Yeah, I mean, memes aside, that just seems kind of scary, you know?
Okay, yeah, found it. Yeah, there we go. Yoshi's is the pick. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, he barely sneaks to the left there. That was scary.
Oh my God.
Axe definitely remains, like, for, you know, as much time goes on or whatever, like, Axe definitely remains, to me, the most impressive player at getting out of up throw up air. I don't really know how he does it.
I still remember the day, this was like back in 2009 or something like that, where that exact situation happened. Lovage actually up aired him on Yoshi's. Same thing, SDI'd out, and then converted into up air, up smash, and that blew my mind, and I was like, okay, the game has changed forever. And I'm glad to see it now, still 11 years later. I love this game. Didn't get it there, though, but Axe overall pretty consistent with it, right? Super scary stuff.
Ooh. Love that defensive up tilt. Yeah, that's definitely a really good way to play the matchup, is just turn your back to Pikachu. And you can even, like, if you think they're going to go for an overshoot in air and you don't think you have time to, like, up tilt or bear them out of it, you can even just shield and then grab them when they go past you. Really brilliant stock there from SFAT. Textbook stock. Just really clean play. And that's actually the aspect I think Pikachu struggles with the most, is just neutral. Right? Like, if you really wall them out, that was nice, though. Nice edge guard. But yeah, if you really wall them out, they can have a hard time getting in. Oh my God, SFAT.
Yeah, especially at the 0%. Like, that's really tough for Pikachu. Oh.
Oh!
Is he dead?
He wanted to go to Randall, but doesn't quite work out. Dude, that's exactly what Axe needed. I think this is exactly how Axe used to beat people, is he'd always get, like, like when he wins, I feel like he gets that one crucial gimp per game. And if you can avoid that one gimp, it'll be fine for the Fox. Like you'll just kind of edge him out on damage or whatever.
Right, and Axe is so good at riding momentum too, right? Like I feel like that's one of his superpowers as a player. Okay. Yeah. Was just trying to see if Axe would clean that out. Yeah, nice DI there and gets the up air.
Yeah, look how close this is now though. Wow. SFAT moving really, really well though. You can tell he's super duper in practice right now.
Man, SFAT has such good... okay, let's see if he gets the kill. Yep, gets the platform tech chase, 72%. Nice. But yeah, I was going to say SFAT has a really good... Okay, well... up air.
Yeah, but he gets the second and only. At 89! Really low percent to be getting KO'd at, but that's kind of how it goes on Yoshi's story. Wow. Well done to SFAT. Honestly, without that really kind of odd kill on the left side of the stage... That could have even been a 2-stock, so Arizona/Mountain still very much in this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And then just looking at the counter picks, right, or just the available players, OKP and John Wick. So, or sorry, yeah, actually, OKP and John Wick.
John
Wick,
my God,
yeah. I just saw a Pikachu. I'm like, wait, no, another Pikachu? No way, right? So in this situation, I feel like it's got to be John Wick, is my guess. You know,
just
Marth
because,
Fox,
sure,
maybe Marth Fox, and then maybe also just because SFAT is, you know, SFAT was sent in against Pikachu, might not be a good idea, especially unless OKP is really, really confident. But looking at what Norcal has available still, Azel and Daryl, right?
Yeah,
and I mean, do you save John Wick for either Azel or Daryl? I don't think so.
Azel, Sheik, or Daryl. Yeah, Azel. It is really nice. So maybe this is the genius of the Norcal captaining or whatever. But now, you know, coming into this crew battle, I think we're like, man, Azel, Sheik, that doesn't make much sense. But now I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, this worked out perfectly. That just to have a Sheik waiting in the wings for either a Marth or a Pikachu, is actually really, really puts Norcal in a really comfortable spot.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I think it's tough here for AZ just because they are ultimately counterpick it to just one stock. So it's only one stock of SFATs, right? Like, you can send in John Wick saying, hey, it's Marth Fox, but you get your counterpick for just one stock, and then it's back to Norcal to have the counterpick advantage. And that's kind of just how crews goes sometimes. Just really helpful to just be in the lead so that you always ultimately kind of get to pick your battles.
You know, I forgot about that element. Yeah, oh my god. The stress, yeah, the one counterpicking a one stock person is actually just the worst. Right? Because then the person, like, even if you do well, you're still at risk of getting just hard counterpicked. So it's like, man, that's kind of hard. I mean, taking that into account, John Wick or OKP. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Between Azel and Daryl, are there any, like, hard counter picks to John Wick or OKP? Probably, I feel like John Wick as Marth probably just has the higher potential to get, like, hard counter picked, right? I guess by Azel in that situation, if Azel's really good at that matchup, but... Yeah, man, now I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a really, really tough decision from AZ Mountain.
Yeah. I would go... Really depends how comfortable John Wick is with Sheik here. Yeah, but I think these days you kind of have to be as a Marth, you know. So it's not easy, right? Like
it's not.
Yeah. OKP could work too, totally. But yeah, it is sort of strange because you've got all these Pikachus and Marth on the AZ team that I think would all be very comfortable, ideally, going in against Spaceys. But the Norcal crew really only has one Spacey, which is SFAT. So, yeah, it's a strange pool of characters to go in. And it looks like it is going to be OKP. So OKP is going to be the second Pikachu on this crew going up against SFAT. SFAT is yeah, I mean, like we already saw, a monster of the Pikachu matchup. But let's see if OKP can bring something a little bit different to the table for Max. And not to mention with the counterpick advantage, that might just be what he needs.
Right, and
Nature might be Dreamland.
yeah, I mean, I think Dreamland makes sense. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I mean, Dreamland, FOD are probably the two that make the most sense to me. But I think OKP could be a good pick because SFAT, again, only one stock, but it's a monster stock, right? It's a veggie monster stock. One of SFAT's stocks can go a very, very long way, as we've seen in the previous crew battles. So, yeah, I mean, maybe this is the pick where it's like, oh, better safe than sorry. But yeah, you know, we'll see. A lot can happen in one stock, so. Oh my god, that movement from OKP, dang.
He does have very good movement, yeah. He does have very, very good movement. Very technical player. Yeah, I know he practices a lot. And you definitely get the sense that he's just very, very crispy at all times with how much he practices, how much he plays.
It looks like it. I mean, even from that 30-second warm-up on Dreamland. Let's see if Dreamland is the actual counter pick as well.
Yeah.
Definitely curious what that's going to be. Oh, I love waiting for game. Do you have the shirt?
Yeah. No, I was thinking of picking that one up.
Oh, okay, Dreamland it is. Yeah, again, one stock for SFAT. If AZ Mountain can get this stock, honestly goes a very, very long way. It would actually, that would just even up the crews, huh? Right?
Yeah, it would. It would. It's only a one stock lead right now.
Oh, I saw the smash DI there, but not quite enough. 0 damage from OKP so far. This looks really hard. SFAT just with relentless, aggressive, but also safe neutral. Oh boy. Up throw. Okay, went for back air there. Gets the up smash as OKP kind of falls down. 9%, that is not what you want to see, right?
Yeah, that is a tiny amount of damage here. I mean, SFAT, this is kind of something you warned about, right? He has already been thinking about the Pikachu matchup. He's super warm in it. Wow, pressuring the front of Pikachu's shield. Even just showing the little bit of matchup awareness there where he knows that's a tough spot for... oh, but there... Okay, that's the gift. That's enough. That's enough. That's all he needs. All he needs is that little opportunity. And OKP, like I said, I think he's a stellar player at which you have to be with Pikachu at going for gimps and just capitalizing on early percentage guards in general.
Yeah, I mean, he was effectively losing like 99% of that game and then found one opportunity and made the most out of it, right? And like when you get out neutral 20 times in a row, it could be really discouraging and you might lose sight of your opportunities. But yeah, like you were saying, OKP just got it immediately.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, so AZ Mountain really down just one stock, so not bad at all. But then looking at the counter picks, we've got Azel and Daryl, and again, I feel like either one kind of makes sense, but to me, I feel like Daryl, setting in Daryl if Daryl's comfortable against Pikachu, very good, and then you save Azel for the Marth, which just, you know, just assuming the matchup spread, maybe that just makes sense, right?
Yeah, that is probably how you would do it. I think from a character perspective, that makes sense. Although, at the same time, like, you know, I think Daryl is actually comfortable against Marth as well. It's just more of a, it's like that's the theory. That's the theory of how it should go. But I mean, yeah, you could send in Azel here if he's really comfortable with his chain grabs and stuff like that. Obviously, you do have to know that the chain grab goes to less of a percent than I think people used to think it went to, right? Because it actually only goes into like the low 30s, and then usually you'll combo into like maybe up till aerial or something like that. But yeah, OKP's honestly really, really solid at the Sheik matchup too. Like I don't think he necessarily has weak points in general in his matchup spread. So
yeah, I mean, you were saying that OKP switches characters for Peach. Actually, is it just Peach? Are there any other characters?
Yeah, I think it is
Puff,
Peach,
no?
Puff and Ices that he doesn't like Pikachu for. So unfortunately, none of the remaining NorCal players are playing the characters that, if Kalamazoo was still on the field here, if he was still in play, then you could work with that. But yeah, I think ultimately it is going to come down to what is it, a Samus and a Sheik, which maybe the Mountain Crew wasn't quite expecting.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I was also just thinking through like would Samus or Sheik have like a really strong stage counter pick as well? Okay, so going with Azul, it looks like so maybe Azul feels fine with the matchup. And maybe one of the stages in particular would be good.
Yeah.
Sheik versus Pikachu. I'm not too sure. Is there like a super hard counter pick in this matchup for Sheik stage wise?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. FD seems like it could be strong. At the same time, I feel like having to up you out of the level is pretty bad. So, like not having side platforms to be able to recover to, I think makes it a little bit annoying when you actually have to recover. So, good question. Yeah, I don't know.
I was kind of thinking FD as well, but if there are bans, I would assume that that's just gone. So if not that, then a flat stage for big chain grabs could be something like Stadium. I feel like Pikachu probably wants or probably favors like the bigger stages like Dreamland and maybe even something like Fountain, which kind of disrupts the chain grab and then also is just like better for Pikachu to get hits in, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really curious what Azul picks. And again, with Azul, like, you were saying that he's recently been going a lot of Sheik, but every time I see him on stream, I feel like he's a different character, and I have no idea like how he decides his character spread, because I've seen Fox Falco, Sheik, and Marth against varying characters on any given week. And so but yeah, like all of his characters are super competitive. And I'm guessing his Sheik is as well, so.
Who else does he play besides Fox Falco and Sheik?
I've seen him go Marth too. Like I think he went Marth in teams recently. Like I don't know. It's like it's like all the top tiers. It's crazy.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point. Yeah, Azul definitely has a pretty deep character spread, and he definitely just started as a Falco main.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the last people. Or let me think. Yeah, I think he was one of the people who took me out on my last tournament run. I think I lost to Azul and to Mike Hayes at Evo.
Wow.
So I feel it, yeah. Super good.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Azul, definitely one of the rising star players that I think, he had he kind of probably his most, prominent performances recently have been at SCL Season 1 as well as Smash Summit 10. Smash Summit 10 that he was in, or was it just SCL? Now I don't want to like say things that aren't true. Yeah, I'm looking it up. I feel like that was his. I don't know if he actually made it into Summit 10 now that I say it out loud.
I mean, we all know that he is one of the.
I guess it was SCL Season 1. Yeah, he was definitely that was the moment I was thinking of. I don't think he actually made it into Summit 10, but he was it was funny because he was in Division 1 for a hot second there in SCL Season 1, which was really kind of cool to see. I feel like he's kind of recently put himself on the map. He's still a very young player. Obviously a lot of room to grow. Okay, OKP is as well. I think both these guys are like early 20s. Early 20s. Yeah, some of the future right here.
The future is exciting, and we have so looks like FD. I mean, OKP. Wait, OKP has, I forget how many stocks. Is it just one? OKP versus. Oh no, three stocks. Only lost one. Yeah. That's right. Okay, so near even stocks.
Looked like it could have gone worse.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, here we go.
Wow, going FD. Okay, so I'm curious what the ban was from OKP. But here we go. I imagine we're going to see a lot of spacing and hopefully from Azel's side. Yeah, gets the grab. Let's see if we can get the chain grab. There we go. Ooh. Ambiguous DI. Very nice.
Oh, wow. Huh. That's crazy that he can confirm that that up air into a grab there. OKP definitely like a wizard with the up air. He has a lot of knowledge and a lot of just really good control over that move.
I mean, you have to be as Pikachu, right? Like that's the combo starter, that's the edge guard, that's everything. Okay.
Everything. It's your everything, yeah. Ooh, risky ledge hop almost, but oh, that works out for him, and he gets the kill. Wow, even stocks again in this crew battle, thanks to that little confirm there.
And honestly, very nice from OKP to get that nair because like he was stuffed a couple times with Azel's 4 tilt. And so just the fact that he found the opening and wasn't discouraged, super, super important.
Yeah.
But back to even stocks. Okay, wow, forward air into up air.
Now look at these. Oh my god, carrying him across the stage back and forth. He's got Azel 64 now. Azel trying to get a moment here. Looking for shield grab. Oh no! All right, a little bit of an SD. Not the worst percent for that to happen at, but at the same time, every stock matters a lot, especially in a crew battle.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's the reverse shield grab that you were kind of talking about previously. So
yeah,
really nice there.
Often you wanna make sure you're facing such that if the Pikachu goes through you, you can grab him. Yeah, couldn't quite get to the ledge there.
Oh. Wow, great sharking from OKP. And edgeguard opportunity. Sheik is honestly very weak when she's recovering against Pikachu. Yeah, she's dead.
Wow. Yeah, OKP, honestly, right now, just kind of putting on a show, showing that with... even with the matchup the way it is, he definitely looks like he's just kind of a step ahead in most of these interactions. Azel's having a tough time landing.
Oh, for sure. And really getting things started. I think Azel was really... was doing a great job stuffing OKP, but like OKP's caught onto the rhythm and everything, so not many openings from Azel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be way too far.
So last stock from both players, obviously.
Yeah. Really important stock.
Oh, spot dodge battles.
Spot dodge battles. Not quite able to get that grab. Oh, what a knock! Oh, he chased him down! That looked like it was like half reaction, half read. That was really good stuff from OKP. Just realizing that, you know, Azel's going to be looking for the roll away because it's sometimes kind of hard for Pikachu to get that tech chase. But, man, he was right on top of him. That was good stuff.
Yeah, that entire stock, honestly. It felt like every time OKP got Azel up, Azel actually couldn't get down. And that's just like one of those things where you just say like, oh, on certain stages, like Marth Sharks, you know, whoever, blah, 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 and like pushes them to the side and gets the edge guard. But like OKP literally kind of did that. Ending it with the tech chase with Pikachu. Yeah, super cool stuff. That is probably not what Norcal or SFAT really was hoping for, right?
Yeah. Now the survival of the Norcal crew comes down to Daryl. Daryl is going to be the last remaining player for Norcal, up against 1 stock of OKPs and 4 stocks of John Wicks. Can Daryl do it? This is going to be interesting.
It doesn't feel like an unwinnable situation, right? It's definitely like Norcal or Daryl disadvantage, but 1 stock from one player and a counter pick from another. And you know, I don't know the most about John Wick, but John Wick doesn't seem like, you know, they're necessarily the strongest player on that team, so definitely still doable from Daryl. Daryl has just like Daryl's been playing probably more than John Wick and OKB combined, so a lot of experience under his belt.
Ton of experience under his belt.
We'll see how that goes.
Very old school player. Yeah. He is certainly going to want to try to take the stock as quickly as possible. I think if he loses 1 stock, it changes from being completely anyone's game to really, really scary for him. I think just because of the nature of Samus matchups, I don't think Samus can really like play around too much with. Yeah, I think it's kind of easy to trade Samus out, if you will, on stocks, just because yeah, they're slower as a character. John Wick can kind of play a different game if he's got stocks to work with.
Oh yeah. And just as a reminder, Cruise is a single elim bracket. It is King the Hill, so it's really just winner takes all, I believe. $3,500 on the line winning crew gets, and so that's split across all 7 members, $500 each. So that is what everyone is playing for, and that is what Daryl is trying to fight for, the Norcal crew. So a lot on the line, and this again I think is a quarters match. So the winner of this makes the West Coast finals, and then we'll play the winner of the East Coast side on Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, a lot on the line. Whew.
Yeah, this isn't even the last crew battle of the day either, right? Because I think after this, it's going to be SoCal versus, yeah, PNW, Pacific Northwest. That's right.
Up next.
So that's going to be, yeah, right after this. Don't go anywhere after this for sure. Yeah, there's been a lot of really dope crew battles. The Florida crew, we got to see a little bit of them earlier. They look super scary. The Sheik crew. Here we go. Daryl versus OKP. Daryl's so far the one doing all the damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, OKP with a down smash of his own, but I just thought it was funny that the first thing that happened was like a CC down smash, I think, from Daryl, which is like so characteristic.
Yeah, definitely. This is ooh man. Definitely looks good on Daryl to realize he needed up B immediately, but oh my god, the up smash to the platform. Yeah, OKP, I mean, I think one thing that is becoming really abundantly clear is his movement is nuts, and he's really good at using it to get right under you. Okay, Daryl has to make this count.
Oh, absolutely.
If he's got to recover here.
Okay, I was a little bit scared. I know Samus has kind of low gimp ability, but being off stage, anything can happen.
Yeah, with how OKP uses that up B into the bombs, I would not want to be out there for too long against OKP's Pikachu. Oh, nice roll there from OKP. Wow. Really just piling it on right now. Daryl needs to end this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Daryl really just fishing for the CC forward smash, down smash. I think that's all he needs. Very nice.
Okay. Well, it's still doable, certainly, but with a one-stock deficit now, it's going to definitely be an uphill battle for Daryl. That being said, Samus Marth, I mean, a lot of is just going to come down to, honestly, John Wick's matchup knowledge here. I know Arizona and just the mountain area in general is kind of a hotbed for, weird characters.
Yeah.
Off-meta, mid-tiers, and things like that. So, who knows? Maybe he's played a ton of Taj and Samus or something, and he's really good for matchups. Violence, sure, yeah, of course. But we'll see how this goes. I've definitely seen Daryl just kind of take it to players who weren't super comfortable with the Samus matchup. So.
Oh yeah, I think Daryl's made a career out of doing that.
Definitely.
Since my switch to Marth, just like Samus is definitely a very, very different matchup, and if you're not familiar, you're in for a time, right? I actually played against DA West recently, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know if you've played him since he's kind of like come back and streamed.
Oh no! I've seen him play.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, but it's like Marth Samus. I feel like the word that I would use to describe it is that it's a grind, right? It's a grind on both sides.
Yeah.
Samus is a tank. They're both pretty good at neutralizing each other's neutral. Like Marth is very good against Samus's kind of wave dash back CC style with his range, and also really good against missiles with power shield. And then Samus is pretty good at just like taking aerials and trading. And so it's like both sides kind of either negate each other or like have a pretty good counter to each other's offense. So one character has to out neutral the other pretty hard to have like a substantial advantage, right?
Yeah, it's true. Or just really like, if Samus can get Marth off stage and just start kind of preying on his recovery, that could be a way to kind of turn things around really quickly. So, and that's usually like the Samus win condition in matchups like Marth and Sheik is like if you can get like a down smash to the DI poorly, or just a nice string that puts them off stage, and then you kind of play a 50-50 trying to snipe their double jump or something, that's where you can really start running away with it. But on the Mars side of things, I think for John Wick, what I've seen out of John Wick is he's really good at just kind of like, I think he's more of an aerial based Marth. Like he likes to swing a lot. He'll use nair, forward air, right? And I actually think that playstyle works pretty well against Samus, unless you let them get underneath you, which Daryl's already managed to do here. So let's see what he can make out of it.
Right. Oh,
The space to forward air. Yeah.
Get punished for forward throwing and tech chasing.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be very scary. John Wick has to be careful here.
Yeah, man, this is tough because read the bomb, but
wow, John Wick already feeling himself a little bit. Ooh, that's a big up tilt, man.
Yeah, this is already quite a big lead because remember, these are like the two final players, and as long as if Daryl and John Wick are the same percentage, John Wick is up a full stock, right? Obviously, and
right.
Daryl's already down a full stock at this point, so this has gotten exponentially harder, I think.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad. See if Daryl can take a stock right now. He's trying to do that angled forward smash to see if he can get a shield poke. Really good strategy against Marth, because Marth's shield is easy to shield poke, and I think Samus is one of the characters that's exceptionally good at getting shield pokes, but so far, man, hasn't panned out for him. Oof.
Yeah, probably did not want that up smash.
Yeah. Yeah, Daryl kind of scrapping a lot, playing really up close and personal, but unfortunately, John Wick's shield game has just been really, really solid. Yeah, see Daryl whiffing a lot, getting his moves blocked a lot, punished out of shield. Ouch.
Okay, this does not look good for Norcal or Daryl.
Yeah.
He's and oh my god, John Wick makes it back.
Keeping the double jump, yeah, that was really good. Daryl taking his first stock here off of John Wick.
3 versus 1 stock of Samus. That's really tough, right? Samus is not the best comeback character.
I don't think so. Yeah, not against Marth. I think Marth, it's too easy to just sit back, play really, really simple playstyle, right? All you got to do is just hit them with moves, and before too long, they'll be at a high enough percent. Oof. Okay, all right.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Another stock here for Daryl. Really good that he was able to confirm into that charge shot at that percent. Uh-oh, that was scary, though. He used his double jump here. So no double jump here from Daryl. He's going to recover. Oh, John Wick couldn't find a punish there. None of that was safe. Oh, that's going to do it. Well done to John Wick and the Arizona/Mountain crew. Taking it over Norcal, knocking them out of the West Coast side of the regional crews here at Rollback Rumble, the big one.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Team Norcal is out of the running.
Yeah.
Congratulations, AZ Mountain, for reaching the West Coast finals. They'll be facing off against Pacific Northwest versus what looks like a pretty stacked SoCal team in particular. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
right.
The question is, I don't know if... So I'm looking at the rosters here, and that is going to be coming right on up. Just read you the rosters here. So S2J, Falcon, it looks like Mango is going to play. Okay, Mango's here. I'm actually at Ludwig's house, and Mango's downstairs. Maybe he's going to play from Ludwig's setup. I don't know. I kind of assumed he wasn't playing because, he's here. But I guess maybe he brought his controller. I don't know. So it's going to be Johnny, Mango, Lucky, Kadoran, and Android. Wow, yeah, SoCal came to play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Army?
Oh my god.
An Army. Wow. And on the PNW side, it's going to be Fat Goku, Chango, Calm Master, Elliot, and Daki. Actually, a very solid crew for PNW for sure. I know all these guys have been grinding recently. Elliot and Daki in particular are two players that have really put themselves on the map lately. Two really new school. Well, actually, Elliot's pretty old school. It's funny because I think for everyone from the Pacific Northwest, we've all known him since he was like 9 years old. So you actually can't really call him new school because, I mean, he's been playing for 10 years. It's just that he seems like he should be new school because he's still like 19 years old. But yeah, Elliot, really good Falco. Daki, up-and-coming Fox player that's been putting in a lot of putting out a lot of good results in the towards the end of the net play era. So, and yeah, it's just kind of funny because, in contrast to the last crew battle, this is going to be a super fast faller heavy crew battle, right? The only floaties anywhere to be found are Chango and Commaster on the PNW side, and then besides that, I mean, Kadoran's Marth, but I mean, Marth's not even really like a floaty. And besides that, it's all Foxes, Falcos, and Falcons, as far as the eye can see on both rosters. So this is really interesting. Well, we are going to throw it to a really short break as we get the crews rounded up here. But don't go anywhere. This is going to be certainly one for the books. Stay tuned. As soon as we come back, it's going to be SoCal versus Pacific Northwest with me and Zoo still commentating. See you soon.